What's up, YouTube? Freaks and Geeks, aka NoahC, back at it again today for another video for y'all. And today, I want to talk about the Lawbringer, his effectiveness in combat, basically his purpose in the game, what I think of him overall, and how I feel like he should be tweaked up a little bit. So, let's talk about the Lawbringer class in general. So the Lawbringer class is basically one of those classes that at his core is just a tank. With that being said, him having the highest health pool in the entire game, he fits that description. But I say to myself, well, if that's the case, with him having the most health in the entire game, and probably one of the best defenses in the entire game, and this being a turtle meta, why does he actually not work so well? And I guess the reason I say that is because in 1v1 situation, Lawbringer is basically non-existent. He literally has little to no offensive pressure, and the only time that he can even get damage is if he literally sits there and looks at you and waits for an attack to be parried and going to add more to him from there. And so my thing is that with him, my entire philosophy with the Lawbringer class was that when I first saw him, I thought he was probably the best character in the game. Because I had a guy named Hondo, and he was a Lawbringer main, and he used to body my Nobushi all the time, but I just wasn't good then, and he was already better than me. And so, I realized then that, you know, I had such a high respect for the Lawbringer class and people who play Lawbringer. But then when I found out he just wasn't the best character overall, only because of the fact that, again, what can he do to you besides look at you? It's really nothing more or less to be scared of a Lawbringer. And so now I want to talk about, you know, his moveset and his effectiveness. So with his moveset, you have, you know, his light to heavy combo. You have his light riposte. You have his regular riposte. Then you have his long arm, and you have the shove. So let's talk about a light to heavy combo. So if it's so bad, well, I'm not gonna say if it's so bad. It's so bad when a character legitimately has to take 3 attacks to go into an unblockable, whereas certain characters don't have to do that. They can literally just go into the unblockable. If Lawbringer had that kind of effectiveness, believe me when I tell you, he could be a crazy threat. Because he would make you dance all the time. He would literally make you move for no reason. Now, I guess it would be a little bit busted if that was the case. But at the same time, I really feel like he needs that. Especially where he is becoming a basically non-existent offensive guy. And I know they wanted to build a defensive class character. But at the same time, they still need a way to be able to make somebody move, and they need to make somebody move as soon as possible. Not like when, you know, it's just more or less whenever you get the opportunity to go into a chain. No, it needs to be whenever you feel like it. So the next thing I want to talk about is light riposte. So with this light riposte is a really good attack. It's a very, very good, handy attack. It is straight and to the point. It literally pops you in the face, it blinds you, and then it gives you a setup from there. But what makes it so weak is that the only options that you have after the light riposte are a guard break or a heavy to go into at mortar, which is pretty good because most people don't really parry the heavy right after they get blinded. But if someone rolls away from you, at that point there's literally nothing they can do. I mean, as a Lawbringer anyway, like, they've literally just effectively gotten out of pressure. So I say when it comes to light riposte, we need more options when it comes to what he can do outside of that. And I know it's just literally a little tap to the face to where it blinds you, but just like Raider, when he blinds you, he's able to go into another light. He's able to go into another unblockable mix-up, into another mix-up. Like, he has more options, and I think as far as the design choice, he needs to be able to have that effectiveness. So let's look at his regular riposte now. So the regular riposte is a move where he literally unlocks and runs at you, and it's from and the attack comes in the direction of the right to pin you to the wall to basically give you a heavy confirm. It can be top heavy, side heavy, whatever you feel like. And that's a very, very good and solid move. Reason why I say that is because it's so solid to the fact that it can set up, if you're in like in a 4v4 situation or a 2v2 situation, it sets up for more damage. It sets up for more possibilities right after everything is said and done. And so we've gotten to a point now to where I say, if that's the case, why can't his repost be omnidirectional? Now, Shaman and a lot of other classes, like, oh, well, not just a lot of other classes, but Orochi can now do that. They can move it, their storm rushes and their lunge attacks come in different directions, so you never know where the mix-up is coming from. If he had that, you know how good Lawbringer would be? He would be literally unstoppable. He could be someone that forces you to move, just like how it is with Raider when he comes at you with Stampede Charge, or Warlord when he comes at you with the Bash. He can put you, it can make you move in a situation where you have to do something. Now, is that too good? No, I don't think so. Because the speed in which it comes out now isn't relatively fast. But it's more or less reactable. If you get to that point to where we make the move reactable, and basically you get caught by it because he switched guards at the right time, then yeah, that's fair. That's fair in my opinion. And I think, let's see, another thing that I want to talk about was the long arm. So the long arm is a move where it turns into an unblockable, and he flips you over his shoulder. You lose a lot of stamina, and he gets a free heavy off that into a shield bash mix-up. Well, shove mix-up, sorry. And we got that now to where we say, okay, I got that move in my arsenal, but when do I use it? Now, the only times you would ever do a long arm is if you guard break somebody and they're low on stamina, and then you go for it. But the thing about that is that it's easier to just do the side heavy, and it's more effective to just shield bash them because you get more potential damage. But in the long run, actually, it's more of a intelligent thing to do with the long arm when you guard break somebody, because the simple fact is, one, they've already lost a lot of stamina by getting long arm. Then they're losing more stamina by getting shoved right afterwards into another mix-up. So it's very effective. It's actually really one of the better things on him. I don't see a lot of Lawbringers actually utilizing his long arm, because I think, and myself included, I just think it's because it's a lot harder to do, and we're so trained to throw out an attack after guard breaking that we don't really worry about anything else. But to make the long arm better, just make it faster. Make it faster in situations where people are just sitting there looking at you, and you have more of a option to get them out of just staring at you. Now, how it should be gone into, I think it can either be chained into attacks, or just how it is right now from neutral, you can just go into it, and it should just be sped up. So that's another way we can make them do that. But now I've come to say, is this enough for the Lawbringer and his effectiveness? A lot of these things I said would help out in his 1v1 aspect and his 4v4 aspect. But right now in his 4v4 aspect, he's actually not that bad. It's just that he, as a character, cannot apply offensive pressure when he feels like it. So if we give him that option, he's going to become somebody that's going to be, actually he probably would be one of the best characters, if not the best character in the game, if Lawbringer did that. Or if they did that to Lawbringer. He right now, that's the only thing he's missing in my opinion. He would be the perfect character if he had just an offensive toolkit, or something that was better than what he has right now. And he's the so close character to greatness, but he's just falling short right now. So I want to ask you guys in the comment section, could you please drop something, or any more notes, or any more ideas that you would think that could make Lawbringer more effective. Now his zone attack, relatively, it makes sense. He has a big axe and it can't really do much. Now, what I thought when I heard of a zone attack, that he would like kind of throw it over his head and it would take out a full wide range area, like more of a circular arc instead of a going upward arc. And I think if we get that going for his zone attack, it could be really good. It could be really good. Or hell, we can even make it unblockable like how it is for like the Raider. But I don't know. I don't know if that would be too good. Maybe I'm getting a little bit over ahead of myself. But when I first started playing the Lawbringer class, I did not like him because I couldn't understand what it meant to just sit there and look at somebody and then effectively attack. But it helped my defense get a lot better by playing the Lawbringer class. It gave me a little bit more patience, and it showed me that defense with the right tools is a very, very strong thing, especially in For Honor. So now I got to a point now, if I come to the realization with Lawbringer on what we're going to do with him, I think I want us to figure out, is he good or is he not good? And another thing that I want to point out was that his shove. So the devs hinted to taking away his shove because it has something to do with the turtle and defensive meta, which I am indifferent about that. It's a good idea, but they have to take it in the right direction when it comes to actually making him a threat on offense. If you take away the shove and he has no way to still open you up, then it is a waste of time. You're taking out something that he is basically his bread and butter, is what he eats off of. So if we get to now, if we get to this point in the Lawbringer's lifespan, like I think season 1 he was at his worst. I think he's always just been a bad character. And we talk about a lot of the new classes and why they're so strong, but I know why they're so strong is because they're being developed with the intentions of being strong, like in the sense that they're being buffed on things that are already working and what are known to work in this game. So if I don't want Lawbringer to have like already like faster lights or anything like that. Like his top light's already pretty good, but he just needs more of an option. I just hope that when they make this little touch up on Lawbringer, that it makes him the force that he was always meant to be. We can get down to the nitty gritty of it and, you know, say that it's just him, you know, how his design was and everything like that, but every character can be viable if done right. That's really what it boils down to. And the more time that they put into actually thinking about certain things versus battle outfits, all this other commercial stuff, then these characters in this game, the ones that the fan base truly loves, not these cheesy characters that people like to abuse, we will become something. We'll become a very, very bright, like glorious community. Like I would love to see more people come out with different characters and metas and different tournaments, stuff like that. It would be a joy. But I digress. If I missed anything, put it in the comment section below. But this has been Freaks and Geeks, man. If you're new, please like and subscribe. Thank you all for coming out here today and listening to the video. Your support has been crazy in these last videos. So let's keep it up, gang. But please join the Discord if you haven't already. But I'm out, y'all. Deuces.